For this next assignment, instead of asking you a bunch of questions about the reading, I'm asking you to look at some metaphors in the reading. There are quite a few, and I picked out 4 metaphors from the reading. And what I've asked you to do is compare them to Jeanette's life, but I've only asked you to pick one of them. So choose one and explain how it's a metaphor for her life so far. Be specific with your answer by including a specific event or events. So I lived in a world that at any moment could erupt into fire. So this one, I don't want you to explain to me that, I don't want you to say that she, caught on fire. So that's literal, right? But I want you to explain how it's a metaphor for her life. How is that, think about how her family is constantly on the go, on the run. The dad's waking them up in the middle of the night to move. Things like that. So it's not literal, right? If something's a metaphor, then it's figurative. It's not literal. So it cannot be when she literally caught on fire. It has to be a metaphor for her life. It existed now in a permanent state of windblownness, leaning over so far that it seemed ready to topple, although in fact its roots held it firmly in place. So if you pick this one, think about, who is the tree in her life? Who is ready to topple at any moment? Who in her life is rooted firmly? Who in her life represents the different pieces of that metaphor? That was the thing to remember about all monsters. They love to frighten people, but the minute you stare them down, they turn tail and run. All you have to do is show old demon that you're not afraid. So in this metaphor, you need to think about who in her life are the monsters, who is the demon, who does she need to stare down, who represents the metaphor, the metaphorical monsters, demons, etc. in her life. And then it's the Joshua Tree struggle that gives it its beauty. So in this one, you need to look at, who is the Joshua Tree, what is the struggle, and what is the beauty. So all of these are just metaphors, so nothing literal. And then for extra credit, you can pick one of these and explain how it's a metaphor for something in your life. And you need to be sure to show, not tell. So that means that you have to give details as well. It's kind of like when you did the literature quotation where you had to give an example, you had to show, you had to be specific. You can choose the same quotation, but you have to, or you can choose a different one. But if you choose the same one, just make sure it's clear where your answer for the novel ends and your personal one begins. And then question number 2, give me a specific example of non-conformity from the novel so far. All right, and let me know if you have any questions.